Hello. Yeah. So it's been a long time since I recorded, especially speaking to the camera. But I wanted to make a video because I've pretty much just been procrastinating, saying that I'll record tomorrow and I'll make a video tomorrow, and then just not doing it. And that's one thing that I've learned really recently or over the last month is that how dangerous it is to say I'll do something tomorrow or I'll do it later and then not actually having planned out like when are you going to do that thing, because you can always say I'll do it tomorrow, and but then tomorrow comes and then you're like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And that's what I've been doing with recording. So this is mostly just to recap what have I been doing the last month and what am I planning to do. So I first went to Spain and I recorded a little bit there. So I went to Spain for 10 days with my friends, which was really great and really nice. It was amazing weather. Then I've been to Croatia, which and visited my family, which was also really nice. But the main thing that I've been doing over the last month and where my main focus has been, I've been training, but I haven't been nearly as locked in and focused as I was before. But we can start with I've been figuring out how I'm going to move to Japan for hopefully 2 to 3 months and do all my school or university courses online and just live in Japan and see what it would be like to live there, normal life. And surprisingly, there's quite a lot of things that you have to do when you just want to move to another country. So I've been looking at everything like how am I gonna get, or I don't need actually a visa, but an apartment, and just preparing to make, doing all I can to make the trip as enjoyable as possible. So I've been spending a lot of time researching where I want to live, looking at apartments, and obviously the financial situation, like how much is it going to cost, and is it actually possible. And because I've been spending a lot of time and obviously traveling a lot, training hasn't been like the main priority, and because of that, it hasn't been that much fun. And I think the reason for this is just because like I moved from where I was living before, and there I had a routine. I would wake up and I knew exactly where everything was and exactly what I was doing, and I had complete control over my environment and my day. And once you go on vacation, you're in a completely new environment, and obviously you don't have the same things that you usually do. You don't have the same foods, you don't have the weight scale, and I stopped tracking stuff over the when I was in Spain and when I was in Croatia. I tried to track the best to my abilities, but I was also on vacation and pretty hungry, so I just mostly ate wherever I wanted. So since then, I've gone up about I think around 3 or 4 kilos. I weigh around 71 kilos right now, and I just, yeah. So from today's session, I just tried to PR on, or not PR, but check what my one rep max was on bench, which was 110 kilos, which was a big, obviously a big improvement since my last video. I think I was doing around 80 or reps. So I've still been training and I've still been eating relatively clean, but it hasn't been like the last month hasn't been that hard just because everything's been out of place. And I've been having a lot of fun in other areas of my life, like being with my friends and being with my family on vacation has been amazing, and it's made me realize how grateful I am just to have family and friends. But it also made me think about what I think I really enjoy is just making progress, and that can be making progress anywhere in life. Like trying to make progress on figuring out how I'm going to move to Japan and live there has been a big time. I've been spending a lot of time because a new problem arises and then I have to figure out how to deal with it. I feel like even though it's been taking a lot of time, I'm learning a lot of stuff, and I feel like it will be finally worth it once I get through all the hardships of moving there and once I'm settled in, because it sounds really, really fun to just move to or to try and live in Japan for 3 months and just train and study and just live a normal life over there. But what I wanted to talk, yeah, so progress. I think progress is really, really fun, and you can see progress in any areas of your life. However, when it comes to training, I think that's because if you find yourself, like for me, I just really enjoy seeing and making progress, and that can be academically, like getting good grades is obviously really fun because you work hard, you study, and then you get a good grade, you see progress. And that's why I feel for myself it's so important to make that progress visual. So for the gym, I am back to tracking my weight, my calories, and especially my training. Like the bench, yes, I've gone up 4 kilos, but I've also my all-time PR is 115 kilos, and that was when I was 10 kilos heavier. I've been PRing on so many, and I'm so much stronger on so many other lifts, but I haven't been tracking it. I haven't been tracking every single lift, and because of that, I feel like I'm not making as much progress as I have been, and that's just been really demotivating. So the plan is make progress as visual as possible. Track things, track my weight, my calories, and most importantly, my training. Because then it just becomes a game, and then you just get to compete against yourself, and you just try to beat your own records again and again. And that's when I think training is the most fun, when you see the progress, you see yourself improving both in strength but also physique wise. Other than training, I've been thinking a lot, mostly just about what I want to do in life, which has been quite hard because there's so many choices of what I can do. There's so many things that I can study or do and work, but we have limited time and limited options. We can't do everything, and that I feel like that stresses me out when I have too many options. And that's why I just want to figure out what's the most important things for me, and then I can focus all of my attention into those things. Now, the only thing that I'm really clear on that I can say with absolute certainty is that I always want to be in shape and train some sort of way. As of right now, I really enjoy bodybuilding and strength training, but I know that throughout my life the benefits of just doing physical activity, like that's something that I definitely want to do, and I also know the fact that once you get in shape, it's a lot easier to stay in shape. And that's so for that reason, that's the only thing that I'm really certain on in life. That's what I'm going to be focusing on for the rest of this year, just getting in the best shape possible. And other than that, just I figured out that with this, I just want to document just my thoughts, my experiences, what I'm learning, and hopefully, I mean, it'll be useful for me. So hopefully, it'll be useful for someone else as well. But that's all I have for today. This is mostly just to get back into the habit of posting. Maybe I'll talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, that's the plan. Move to Japan, and then I'll figure everything else out later.